Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
Go crazy at Bob Walker. Go nuts.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Your Razorbacks are 2021 SEC champions. And Bob Walker Stadium is an insane asylum.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on, it's almost halftime.
Oh, I made it. And here it is. Everybody's all saying the same thing because we've, quote-unquote, made it now to football season. I made it into my new house. That's all I cared about.
Congratulations.
Getting all the stuff out of the old place.
A lot higher now.
What's that? You think I look a little bit higher than?
No,
than,
the ceiling.
The ceilings.
Oh, the ceiling.
Yeah.
I thought you said you look a little bit higher. I'm like, well, what exactly are you looking at, Matty T? Yeah, the ceilings are a little bit taller here in the new headquarters studios. But I'm feeling that. You know what it's like to move. Everybody's done this. I've done this more probably than most. I'm going to take I should have figured it out. I'm going to take a guess. This is like 13 or 14 different moves in the 20 and a half years that I've lived in Arkansas. So my body is used to the feeling of 100% exhaustion.
Did you do the moving or did you pay for a truck?
Oh, there's no way I'm
for
able
guys?
to do. You think I could lift all this stuff by myself? Heck no.
You hired a bunch of college hunks.
Well, do we have them as a client? No, I don't think so. It was just a moving company.
Okay.
Yeah, no, good people. Jared and his guys did a good job keeping everything together. Nothing broke.
Mm-hmm.
If anything did break, it was me that did the breaking. I did drop, one or two things. But we're in, and the studio is set up, and I made it.
Looks nice. You got too much. There's a lot of white going on behind you. Maybe a fake bookshelf or something with, all your novels or whatever to go up there.
All the novels that I want everybody to think that I've read.
Exactly. Those are the ones that you put up there.
To think that I'm interested in reading. No,
I want people to think you're educated.
I'll be working on it. Because first things first, the bed and the kitchen, and then the studio. And then we'll work on the decorations.
You put your bed in the kitchen?
No, Maddie.
I know some people that have done that, and might not even have a choice in some cases, unfortunately. But we have made it to football season, and I think that's the way everybody felt when you might have watched one of the handful of football games that was played on Saturday. I'm okay now telling you that week 0 is I'm fine with the term week 0 because it was a big fat 0. It really wasn't a very good weekend of football. Not like you expected it when you looked at the games that were being played.
Compared to what we're going to get, yes, it was a dud. But compared to what we had last week, it was a success. I mean, I enjoyed just being able to sit down starting at 12:20 and watch college football until I went to bed. Yes, was some of it not the most entertaining type of football? Yeah. Was it a little hard to watch at some points? Yes. But I had college football. I got my fix. I've been itchy. I've been scratching. I'm trying to get that itch for since January, and now I finally get it back and I can breathe again.
We got a couple of texts coming in here about Nick Starkel continues to impress. That's right. FCS opponent. Then again, I don't remember exactly what he did against Portland State when Arkansas opened up against an FCS team in 2019, the 1 year Starkel was here at Arkansas. Yeah, I've got Nick Starkel ready for a 3-up, 3-down later on in this show. So he was definitely an up over the weekend. Nebraska football fans just have to be. How many times do you think the facepalm emoji button was pushed in Nebraska over the weekend?
I'm going to say over 1 billion. And the thing about did you watch it?
I did not. I actually watched a little bit of it being probably like 5 or 6 plays. Mm-hmm. I mean, again, this is a moving day.
Yeah.
But I did want to watch a little bit of it. And to be quite honest, it was fairly unwatchable.
Well, I watched, I'm going to say 95% of the game. And for 93% of the 95 that I watched, Nebraska was the better team. They're bigger, faster, stronger. You could tell they had more talent. You could tell that 9 out of 10 times they would and should beat Illinois. The only problem is they kept shooting themselves in the foot. I mean, every time it seems like they finally got the momentum back. They were finally going to start. Things were going to go in the Cornhuskers' direction. They'd shoot themselves in the foot. Going into halftime, tied 9-9. Then Martinez gets sacked, scoop and score, goes up out of there. They have an incredible defensive series, and they stop them 3rd and long. But wait, there's dirty laundry, pass interference, and a taunting call, which gets the Illinois 30 yards closer to the end zone.
And, of course, none of
they
that
capitalize on and they score.
And none of that has anything to do with bigger, faster, stronger.
No.
Look better in the uniforms.
It's all mental. I mean, they just made so many mental mistakes.
I mean, the first points of the college football season is a safety on a guy that steps backwards into the end zone.
Made no sense. Why are you trying to field the ball at the 1 yard line?
I mean, again, those are the first points of the football season.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. That's again, 0 was a 0. So we'll just move right on to week 1.
Well, last comments about the Nebraska-Illinois game. I think you honestly did see that Scott Frost, while he had a good tenure at UCF, his team just mentally is not prepared. He has not done a good job preparing them mentally to go along with their physical attributes to the game. That's the main takeaway that I take away from this, is that he has not done a good enough job to get them ready mentally. And you go back and read everything from his tenure at Nebraska, it lines up, and you would think and hope by year 4 that he's got a grasp on this team, that he's got them mentally prepared, and it's just not there.
Drew, there was a point a year or two ago where, I think it was 2 years ago, that Martinez was a potential Heisman guy.
Mm-hmm.
People were talking about him being a Heisman candidate. And look at what's happened. I mean, he's regressed.
Yes, he's gotten worse, and that's pretty hard to do when you're now a 3-year starter.
Yeah, so have fun with that. And good, hey, Brett Bielema, way to go.
Good job.
Way
Bet
to
the
go.
Tito's was flowing and champagne.
Well, probably a little bit later than usual, I would think. But hey, there's some people that still, give a little bit of a shout and a cheer for Brett Bielema. I think they might have had more personal experiences with him. Mm-hmm. But yeah, good.
I was happy for him.
That's exactly right. 877-377-6963 to get on halftime today. Connor O'Gara will come up in 3 minutes. No, I'm sorry, 23 minutes.
About to say,
he's
carry
got
the one.
He's excited about at least one thing for every single SEC football game this weekend. And I'm going to challenge him to do the same thing after week 13 or before week 13. By the time it looks at least like 2 or 3 teams are kind of dragging their knuckles to the end of the season and have so-called drop the rope.
Yeah, I read his article that he put out, about 4 or 5 hours ago on Saturday Down South. For a lot of them, yeah, there are things to be excited about, new chapters to see, but Vandy and East Tennessee State, or Tennessee State, it is ETSU. Like, Clark Lee's defense, like, come on, man. Like, well, you could just say pass.
When we'd have been okay if the entire league, I guess the first week you can find at least something to be excited about outside of the idea that you get to watch the game.
I think all 4 of Vanderbilt football fans out there would have agreed with me that you can just pass. It's okay. There's no need to even bring it up.
It's got to be a pretty big rivalry, don't you think? Vanderbilt, East Tennessee, I mean, an in-state rivalry being played in the big city.
A big rivalry with an ETSU program that's been around for 5 years, I believe. Yeah, they've only been playing football for 5 years, and they're at the FCS level. Now, Vanderbilt should beat this team. If this was against Chat, though, another in-state school, I'd be a little worried. Chat's got a pretty good program down there in Chattanooga.
We have a couple of SEC teams opening up against FCS, but you get some pretty good games here. Arkansas, a 21.5-point favorite at open. It's already started to drop a little bit on some of the sports houses right now. So we'll see what happens. You see John Ridgway. The report coming from Tom Murphy. Heard him talk a little bit about it on the Morning Rush this morning. Expected. I would think when you got 3 down linemen, he might be your nose tackle. He's going to be one of your inside tackles quite a bit. The Illinois State transfer, and I didn't see the word emergency, but usually an appendectomy.
That's an emergency.
Has the word emergency in front of it. So we would expect with even with the laparoscopic surgery, that's going to take at least a week to fully recover from it.
It's a lot of soreness.
You got to get back into your normal routines after that. So, I mean, you kind of imagine that the Rice game is out for Ridgeway, and Rice is a team that's expected to try to run the ball a lot, and I think that's whether or not McCaffrey is behind center. Yeah, and also you see Rice kind of being a little coy about their quarterback situation. They're not announcing a starting quarterback. They're going the Chad Morris route. Probably going to see both of them. We'll see if they do that all season long. But it would be nice to have Ridgeway in the middle there. Also against Texas, that's for sure. All right, halftime coming back right after this.
See, what every long shot come from behind underdog will tell you is this. The other guy may in fact be the favorite.
You know, the start of the season is just around the corner, and if you're into sports betting, BetOnline is where you should go to win some money today. Whether it's live bets during games or future bets on who you think will win the championship, BetOnline has all the latest odds, news, and information for all your online sports betting needs. Visit the website today or use your mobile device to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. So before the next big game or before the season starts, head on over to BetOnline and start playing today. That's BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Tanya Tucker said when she died, she may not go to heaven because she didn't know if they let cowboys inside. Psalm 24 answers her question. Only those whose hands and hearts are pure, who do not worship idols and never tell lies. The only one qualified to meet that standard ascended after he died to pay the way for you to go inside. Believing in Jesus means he won't condemn us, and the only will be hotter than Texas. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
You know, the start of the season is just around the corner, and if you're into sports betting, BetOnline is where you should go to win some money today. Whether it's live bet. Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunity, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Make your car buying experience better at Hertz Car Sales. The goal is to provide customers with a wide selection of low-mileage, extra-clean vehicles, providing their buyers with a better way to drive. A professional sales staff, quality customer service, along with a relaxing atmosphere is what you find every time at Hertz Car Sales. What are you waiting for? Make the short drive to 2810 Midland Boulevard or call them today at 783-1722. You can also check them out online at buyfromhertz.com. Hertz Car Sales, when you're ready.
Wheels RV in Springdale wants you to seek out all the Natural State has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels RV was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. 5 miles west of I-49, exit 72. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Yeah! For the first time, it's going down history, baby. New 3-6 Mafia.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Good to be with you guys today. It is a beautiful Monday across the natural state. Things have cooled down. We certainly got the Gulf Coast, New Orleans, our friends around South Mississippi, all the way up the Mississippi River right now. Got you in our thoughts. And, and again, something to get into later on 3 up 3. Did you see that this storm actually reversed the flow of the Mississippi River briefly?
Yeah, I did. That is just insane.
That's like incredible. I've read of just a couple of other instances where that occurred.
That sounds like an old wives' tale. Man, the storm was so bad it reversed the Mississippi. Well, it actually happened yesterday.
Well, now it's a young wives' tale because it actually happened yesterday.
Like, that's how, there's a big lake in North Tennessee that I can't, it's escaping the name of now, but that's how it was created because an earthquake in the Mississippi flew upriver.
That's right.
And last time I was up there and I heard the story, I was like, just think how, and this wasn't that long ago. I mean, this was 1800s. People were living there at the time. How freaked out you must be if you're just down by the river and all of a sudden it starts flowing the wrong way and then this big old lake just shows up. I mean, that's some God's wrath is coming to get us types of mentality and feeling, right?
That happened down the street for me. Drew, I might go buy a boat if that happened to me.
For sure.
That's the time. I didn't realize I had lakefront property.
I'm running to the idiot who's been preaching on Beale Street for the last 20 years saying the ends is coming. That stuff happens. I'm running to him and say, all right, where's the boat, man? Let's do this.
Did he ever specify a date, or did he just throw it out there that the end eventually will
It's
come?
just coming.
It's just coming.
It's always coming.
So either way,
he never made an actual date, but it's coming. According to him.
Easiest prediction to make. Yeah, we can get into the physics and the science of how that's actually guaranteed to happen at some point.
It will eventually happen.
But let's first go to Robbie, who has given us a call here on Halftime. 877-377-6963. Robbie, I think we were just texting on that very phone number, and you decided to give it a phone call. So what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, man? It's been a long time, Phil. I've been listening, just haven't had an opportunity to call in. Kind of been traveling all across the country this summer. Hey, so finally found a topic that I was, passionate enough about to call in and just kind of talk to you for a second. But, I understand folks read the Tom Murphy article. They saw the emails that are coming from the foundation. In fact, I tried calling the foundation earlier, and they even had their own little, what do you call it, like a tone, or one of the menu options now says, if you're calling about Razorback baseball tickets, press 1. Because I'm sure that, it's like a barnstorm effect going on in Fayetteville regarding, the decision to kind of have the upper out policy with, season ticket holders that now have to pony up donations. Called a guy this morning on Morning Rush called extortion. But if you look at what other universities are doing across the country, there's no major program in America that's not doing the same thing for major sports. Now, Arkansas baseball is a top 5 program. You've got to look at ways to make money. And the way I look at it is, Yurachek and Van Horn, we've got to find ways to kind of support all the new facilities that are going up. If you look at the seating arrangement this year, Phil, the Razorback dugout is flipping from third base to first base. So why not take a look at the seating arrangement to make sure people are appropriately seated? And I think that may have been like a tipper to say, okay, we're going to move people anyway if they want to be behind the home dugout, which next year is going to be the first base side, not the third base side, because they're going to have that tunnel they're going to be using. So it's, why not make the changes this year? I get it. Folks were, had season tickets for a decade, 2 decades, maybe back when we were at George Cole Field, right down the hill from, the campus. But at the end of the day, people who are baseball only have been getting a massive discount compared to what they should have been paying for premium seating. So that's the other side of the coin. I know people are angry. I've seen the comments. I get where they're coming from. But at the end of the day, they are getting a massive discount. Time to pony up.
Now, Robbie, when we were texting earlier, you're one of the baseball fans that is in line for season tickets, and that line
Correct.
kind of wasn't going anywhere for a long time. People were not going to be giving up their baseball season tickets. So, I mean, this affects you in a different way than I think a lot of the comments that we see on the Razorback season tickets baseball Facebook page and on Twitter and I can understand anger and disappointment and sadness and I would never be able to tell anybody how to feel, even if you might feel the sense of abandonment because you don't have you might not have the money to be able to pony up for seats that you've sat in for years and develop relationships with people that you sat around. It's not really just about the seats that you sit in or the angle of the game that you're watching. It's also about the people that you, in a lot of ways, become family with. And I think that you have to try to take a bit of a nuanced view. Certainly in my situation, I'm trying to, because if it's an idea of fairness, then money and fairness, it's a difficult thing to look at it and be able to let go of the idea that the anger and the sadness and that feeling of abandonment needs to be you need to at least look at that and say you're right to feel that way. Phil,
and one of the things, man, I think that folks don't realize is that there's a lot of baseball season ticket holders that don't contribute any money to the University of Arkansas athletic program via the foundation. That's
the other side of it. That's the other side of it. You've had people and I'm so lucky that my job in sports has nothing to do with the money, nothing to do with selling ads or season tickets or anything like that. I'm able to blissfully be up in like a white tower caring only about the game. And usually people that work around sports love the game in and of itself, but they have other hard, cold financial decisions that they have to make. And this to me feels like a cold financial decision that needed to be made in certain ideas of fairness. I think like the comments that you read on social media are probably like 85-15 negative, but I think there are a lot of people that this affects in a positive way of being able to come into the stadium now, and I think you're one of them.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate, Hunter Yurchek and him taking a hard stance, but I honestly think this should have happened years ago. And what's happening is they have folks that have kept aggregated more season tickets, and good for them, but now it puts them in a really bad position. And I do feel for those people because now it's either in some cases pony up $10,000, which I don't have, that you got to pony up to keep your ticket. But again, that is the part of athletics is that we have to look at the big picture in terms of revenue, because it's not just growing on trees. And COVID just exacerbated this particular situation. It's a tough position to be in. You have a tough position to be in because you're tied closely to the baseball program and your presence on social media and your radio show you have. So anyway, I appreciate everything you guys are doing. Try to be as objective as possible as comes. I do benefit from it, but I definitely feel for the folks that are on the wrong side of the coin here.
Robbie, I appreciate the phone call
it, Robbie.
and the conversation about that. And man, I mean, I'm a human being at the same time. We all are, and one of the things I love about Razorback baseball, and it's the same with the football and it's the same with basketball, Drew, but with baseball, sometimes you felt like, going back years and years, like this was your own sort of well-kept secret that turned into a not well-kept secret and then explodes in popularity, to a point where the ticket demand is off the charts.
And you want to explode in popularity. You want to be a popular and a great program. But like Robbie said multiple times, it is one side of the coin type of situation. You want to be winning. You want to go to games where you're seeing winning and good product and good talent out there on the field. But you also got to realize the more they win, the more profile and national profile that they continue to build, the more demand there is going to be for tickets. And then obviously it doesn't take a genius to figure out supply and demand. If the demand is there, the price goes up. And you feel bad for people that they just got priced out. They have gone to every single game for the last 10, 20 years, love it. But unfortunately, financially, they can't swing that big donation. They can't swing that up in price. And you feel bad for them. But you also got to understand, like Robbie said, the other side of the coin. Prices are going to go up when the demand goes up.
From what I understand, anyone will have the opportunity to retain tickets in another area if they can't, afford the requested
which
donation.
is a good thing.
So on the other hand, again, that changes the experience for those people. And gosh, it's a painful situation to deal with, but it does come at the only time that you probably could have done this. New building is open, new dugout, team moves over there, so do all of their seats, all of their family seats and all of that. Coach gets 10-year extension, raise, so do all of the assistants.
Money's got to come somewhere.
The money does come from big donors like the Hunt family in terms of the building, but the money eventually
they
all
ain't
comes
paying every
from
bill.
us, from fans. That's the way it is. I really feel for all of the fans that are angry, and I'm going to guarantee you that,
and rightfully so, they can be.
The people that made these
them
decisions also, I think, feel for them. You develop relationships with people, like we have with Connor O'Gara. Into college football with him next.
Halftime is brought to you by Crabtree RV Center. 4 generations making your family dreams come true.
Football is almost here. Get in on the action with DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. To bring you even closer to the action, DraftKings is giving all new players a free shot at $1 million during Week 1. If you haven't tried DraftKings yet, preseason is the perfect time to test your strategy. It's simple. Just pick your lineup, stay under the salary cap, and see how your team stacks up against the competition. Nothing adds to the excitement of watching a game quite like having a free shot at huge cash prizes. And don't forget to check out DraftKings free-to-play pools, where there's even more cash up for grabs. Download the DraftKings app and use code KJZ. For a limited time, new players can get a free shot at $1 million during Week 1. That's code KJZ to get a free shot at millions of dollars in prizes with your first deposit. Only at DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the River Valley's truck superstore. No one has a bigger selection of new and pre-owned trucks. If you need a regular cab work truck, Harry has them, and the biggest selection you'll find anywhere. Over 60 full-size pre-owned trucks are in stock now, and over 250 pre-owned vehicles are on the lot. And for the first time in 90 days, new 2021 trucks are on the ground. When the other dealers don't have it, Harry does. The area's truck superstore, Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Looking for a fence company that will provide the personal touch to your fence or gating project? Call Dusty's Fence Company at 479-629-4190. Dusty's Fence Company specializes in custom wood design, vinyl fencing, chain link and ornamental iron projects, and they can even stain your fence to complete your project. Family owned and in business for 20 years, you will deal with the same person from start to finish. That's Dusty's Fence Company, 479-629-4190.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Law's Drugstore in Fort Smith has COVID vaccinations available today for you and your family. Law's Drugstore has the Pfizer vaccine for ages 12 and up and the Johnson & Johnson vaccine for ages 18 and older. Just call 452-6116 to schedule your appointment or stop by Law's Drugstore at 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family. Call now, 452-6116.
River City Bistro is Fort Smith's favorite place for lunch, dinner, and brunch. Open 7 days a week, both on the patio and cozy dining room. River City Bistro, locally owned and open weekdays 11 till 8, Saturdays 10 till 8, and Sundays 10 till 3. Want River City Bistro curbside to go? Just search on Facebook or Instagram for River City Bistro or go to rcbistro.com. River City Bistro, 7320 Rogers Avenue in the Stonewood Village Shopping Center.
Your company is known for top pay and great salaries, but how do your benefits compare to the competition? Hi, this is Brett Good with Henderson Phillips. In today's competitive labor market, great pay is no longer enough. Call me at 479-651-2292 and let's discuss your benefit plans to make sure your company has what it needs to attract and retain the best talent. I am Brett Good with Henderson Phillips. Call me today, 479-651-2292. That's 651-2292.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Yeah, right? Yeah, but dig, there's been a lot of hate going on, okay? So let me holler at you something. First of all, look at here, dog. You might see me in the street, but shout it, you don't know me. When you holler, when you speak, remember you don't know. You save all the hate.
Need a little bit more halftime in your life? Make sure to download the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast. Eastside Liquor in Fort Smith has the best deals in the River Valley on liquor, beer, and wine. Stop by 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith and make sure to check out their Facebook page for weekly specials. The Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast is part of the Hit That Line Podcast Network and is available wherever you listen to podcasts.
Opening segment here. Week 0 was a big fat 0. Football on television for those who really needed it.
I'll give it half. It wasn't a 0. It was a 0.5 because it did satisfy my itch.
There is no such thing as a week half. It just doesn't work that way. Connor O'Gara is with us. He is a national columnist, Saturday Down South. Connor, was week 0 for you a 0, or was it at least a 1?
I'm going to give it at least a 1 because we're in the content business, and I have plenty of talking points from that Illinois-Nebraska game. I mean, just in your neck of the woods alone, I watched Brett Bielema on Saturday, and I had probably 3 or 4 different moments where I thought to myself, that guy just belongs in the Big Ten West. And I wish that I could go back in time and take out the Arkansas chapter and just leave Brett Bielema in the Big Ten West for the last decade and watch what he could have become in college football. Because, you see what he's doing in year 1 in Illinois, and yeah, it's going to get more difficult, and they're probably going to have some tough times this year. But amidst all the talk about Scott Frost was the fact that all he did was find a way to adjust mid-game after losing his starting quarterback and just act like no big deal. And he's got an extremely experienced squad, but I'm happy for Brett Bielema that he's being able to find this chapter in Champaign, even though he's got some tough times ahead. But I had plenty of stuff to talk about between that and Scott Frost stuff. I mean, goodness, we're off and running here.
I mean, Illinois' punt coverage is so frightening, so frighteningly good. You've got opponent punt returners literally taking a step into the end zone so that they don't have to get hit. So that's how good Brett Bielema is as a coach. And he's getting the same treatment then, or I guess I should say Arkansas is getting the same treatment from the press, when it comes to Bielema, as they did with Chad Morris. We had a listener text in. He went to see Chad Morris's first game in Allen High School, and in the local paper, it referred to him as the former SMU head coach, Clemson and Auburn offensive coordinator. Said nothing about his time at Arkansas. So, gee, I wonder why.
If you don't win a game in the SEC, did it really happen?
I don't think so. I don't think it counts.
Yeah. Well, it was obviously a terrible showing by Nebraska, and there really weren't any other good games over the weekend. But
you didn't enjoy UCLA Hawaii? Come on.
Enjoy. Come on, that's strong. It was a blowout.
It was terrible.
What's your favorite talking point from the Big Ten big opener?
So the Scott Frost thing is fascinating, and I say that as somebody who spent 2.5 years out in central Nebraska. I've talked about that before. I live 20 minutes from where Scott Frost grew up in Wood River, Nebraska, and I know all of the attention surrounding him and all that went into it, and being down here in Orlando during his time when he set the college football world ablaze with UCF in 2017. So I have a little bit of a different sort of connection to Frost, and it's baffling to see these mistakes still happen for this Nebraska team that, quite frankly, shouldn't be in this spot right now. I mean, they're making year 1 mistakes, and so now everybody's wondering, in a game that Scott Frost just couldn't lose on that stage, where that's the only game that we're going to be talking about, only game involving 2 Power 5 teams in week 0, and he goes out and loses it, following this bizarre report about NCAA violations because of off-campus practices, which just looked like a page out of Tennessee's playbook with trying to get out of this potential $20 million buyout. It's bizarre. But there's all these people talking about, could if Scott Frost can't do it, then who can at Nebraska, which I think is ridiculous. And Sam Pittman is kind of an example of look, we think we have these hires figured out, and people like to criticize them nationally, but so much of it depends on what these coaches do after they're hired. Sam Pittman made great hires with his assistant, and he looks like a guy who has his head on right and is not necessarily too stubborn for his own good. Scott Frost is too stubborn for his own good. and he hires coordinators who he's way too indebted to, and he doesn't know how to properly evaluate them. So I think there is a lot to talk about with that, and I gave you more Week 0 content than probably you would have had from anyone else who would have come on this show. I'm just saying.
Well, I appreciate it, Connor, and you're exactly right. Just the mental mistakes. It just feels like they just mentally weren't prepared. But like you said, we are moving on to Week 1, and with that comes all the predictions and the excitement and everything that comes along with the college football season. I read your top 10 upsets in the SEC. Personally, loved number 10. Loved the Week 3 Mississippi State matchup. But in that article, you also have Arkansas beating Texas and Texas A&M. Do you think that is realistically possible for them to sweep Texas?
Yeah, I mean that's why I got it in there. You know, I'm a believer. I'm a believer in the first part of the schedule, especially. I think this is one of those seasons in which if you have that depth, those 6-year guys, which Arkansas has in spades, it's going to benefit you early on. And I think we're going to see defenses take a step up in general in the SEC this year after they were just horrible last year. And Arkansas was bad down the stretch with the depth issues. But I think those early season matchups against those Texas schools are favorable. And I think they're favorable in part because of some of the inexperience at the quarterback position. Both of those matchups are going to be involving first-time starting quarterbacks. And Haynes King, the A&M starter, is going to have a little bit of that road experience, although technically it's not, road experience that he's going to need against Arkansas, not road experience that he's going to need in Denver for that game against Colorado. But at the same time, I think that what Barry Odom is going to be able to do and why his defense is so unique and why it's able to work is because of how it can fluster a first-time starting quarterback, somebody that maybe doesn't have those reps. So I think that's really where Arkansas is going to thrive, and they're going to be able to win the turnover battle. Texas is due for another non-conference loss. They didn't have the real non-conference slate last year, 2013 and 2019. They've lost a non-conference game every single year. I think it happens this year in year one of the Steve Sarkisian era, and I think it happens to Arkansas.
That's 20% of your top upsets. I love that. So, I mean, you're probably expecting the Razorbacks to finish with a bit of a whimper. Because what did you have them at to finish the season? I forget. But I mean, you wouldn't be the only one because that back half of the season is awfully difficult, especially LSU on the road, followed by Alabama. I think Mizzou's going to be good this year, and they've already had Arkansas's number.
So I have them going 7-5, which 7-5 overall. That would be 3-5 in SEC play, a chance for an 8th win in a bowl game. I mean, think about that. Been 5 years since Arkansas fans got to experience a bowl game, and that was going to happen last year, but then COVID, of course, did its thing. But think about that. Think about where this program would be at and how encouraging that would be when you look back on November of 2019 and all the questions. And look at Nebraska. Look at Nebraska. Look how long this can take sometimes to get back on that level and to feel like you have the right person in place and to feel like you have something that you can actually build on, instead of just looking like a program that's without answers and it's just sitting there scratching its head in the first part of the season. Now, there's no guarantee that Arkansas gets there, and I'm maybe a little bit more on the optimistic side than others, but I think you can't underestimate that, especially in this division when it looks like so many of these teams are going to be improving. I just think that would be a major win for this Arkansas program if they were able to get into December with those types of expectations moving forward.
I don't think anybody in our listening audience would be upset with 7-5. I mean, that's a big improvement from 3-7 and the Chad Morris here, and it shows that you're going in the right direction. Week 1 matchups, there's a lot of kind of cupcake matchups around the SEC, but the two biggest ones are both taking place in Atlanta, one Saturday, one Monday, in Bama, Miami, and then Ole Miss versus Loserville. How do you see those two matchups working out for the SEC?
Well, shots fired, by the way, Georgia Clemson. Big time matchup there.
I forgot about that one.
It's going to be, all three of those games are going to be great. And I think that if you're looking at Bama and Miami in the opener, Miami's feeling good, as they should be, an offense that returns all but their tight end, Brevin Jordan, coming into this year with Derek King back healthy, coming off the torn ACL. I don't know that Saban has seen a quarterback as good as Derek King in a season opener, But you'd be foolish to bet against Saban in an opener. I mean, this is a guy who hasn't even played in a game decided by less than 3 scores in a season opener since 2014. All right, don't bet against Alabama in the season opener if we're just talking about straight up. Miami to cover the spread a little bit different. But, I think Alabama still has the advantage there with what it returns defensively, especially in the front seven. And then I look at that Louisville-Ole Miss game, which is just the perfect dessert for opening weekend. You get to Monday night, a Labor Day weekend, and you're like, oh, man, I got to wait a whole week for football. No, wait, I'm good. I get to watch Ole Miss. Ole Miss was my favorite team to watch in all of college football in 2020 because you didn't know what you were going to get on a weekly basis with that offense. And there was always turnovers. There was always high-scoring games, and, well, with the exception of Arkansas and, of course, the one-arm bandit game. Who could forget that? But this is still an Ole Miss team that's going to have so much firepower returning on offense. And watching them against Louisville in that opener, Malik Cunningham, who's one of the better quarterbacks in all of college football, we're going to see how much Ole Miss has really improved defensively. I think there are going to be a ton of points scored in that game, and it should just be a great opening weekend for the SEC. I think that Ole Miss has a good chance to take care of business in that one. And if the SEC is able to sweep those 3 games, if you want to include Georgia and Clemson, we'd be talking about a major statement for the rest of the college football world.
Hey, Connor, what do you think the chances are that more LSU fans than UCLA fans at the Rose Bowl this next weekend? What do you think?
Big chance.
Big chance.
Big chance of that. If you could probably count individually the amount of UCLA fans that were there in attendance. I know people are saying, look, like, you can't criticize fan attendance during a pandemic, all that stuff. And I saw people coming to the defense of UCLA and saying, well, there's a beach a half hour away. Give me a break, man. Like, give me a break. If we're talking about not being there because of the pandemic, all right, I totally get that. But still, I mean, you look anywhere in the country and you will see full stadiums this Saturday. You'll see them across the SEC, and you'll see fans who are passionate and who care and feel like this is something that's been long overdue. And I'm not trying to get into anybody's personal beliefs about the pandemic, but still, at the same time, you saw those images. They were really, really bad.
Ooh, so bad.
LSU is going to have no shortage of fans in attendance. That seems like the lock of the week in college football.
Heck, I remember the Rose Bowl being completely full for a Josh Rosen versus Nick Starkel A&M game. How many years ago was that? Since Starkel's, in his 6th year? I think that was 6 years ago, and Rosen is backing up in the NFL now. Hey, Connor, your challenge now, and we'll have to remember this by the end of the season. Great column on the one thing you're excited about for each game in the SEC this weekend. But you're going to have to do that for Week 13, and there just are going to be some teams that there's nothing exciting about by then.
For Cupcake Week, I will find a way to get excited, and we'll get into the weeds big time. I mean, we'll be talking about guys who played in the SEC like 6 years ago, and we'll get into some of those matchups as well. Jake Bentley, I think, is going to be playing against an SEC team in like Week 13. He's still should be a senior in high school, some people are saying, but we'll no shortage of storylines to talk about even during Cupcake Week. I promise you.
Well, and on Monday next week, we can talk more about this Ole Miss Louisville game. Monday night college football next week. We don't get any tonight, unfortunately.
It's going to be awesome. I can't wait for it. I hope you guys are very fired up for college football season because, man, it is so much better to be talking about actual games and whatnot right now compared to what we were talking about this time last year.
Hey, man, nobody has said the letters NIL or the word alliance on this show until
well, you just did.
44 minutes into it right now. Hopefully that'll stay the same. Connor, appreciate you, man. We'll talk next week.
Sounds good. Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Connor.
Connor O'Gara on Twitter at CJ O'Gara. Saturday Down South always has something fun to talk about. And now that we have games, a lot easier to talk about fun things. 877-377-6963. Arkansas men's basketball has released the non-conference schedule. It's just coming out either right as the show started. I think they previewed pretty early in the morning with a funny tweet from Muss trying to grab the schedule out of Connor Vanover's hands, which I don't think he can do without a really tall ladder. All right, we'll go through that schedule after the break. And got a caller on hold who I think is pretty fired up as well. It's halftime, and we're right back.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 Fort Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Wake up your happy at Hardee's with the new $3 French toast dips. Wait, what? French toast dips sprinkled with powdered sugar and served with a side of syrup. Sugary, syrupy, dippable. Sweeten up your morning at Hardee's. Try the new $3 French toast dips at Hardee's. The sweet one on the 2-3 more breakfast menu. Feed your happy. Available during regular breakfast hours at participating Hardee's restaurants. Tax not included. Price and participation may vary.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is growing and looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building experience or you have welding skills, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay, health, dental, and vision benefits. Join the top fence building team in the state. The Fence Man. Apply today in person. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Hanging out with my friends at Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Hey, Jeremy, the Venom R. I don't even need to say anything else.
Jimmy, it's the hottest truck in the market right now. It's fully customized, upfitted, class exclusive to Randall Ford. You have to see them to believe them. These trucks are flying out of here as quick as we get them done.
People, all they have to do is just come by and check them out.
Just come by, say, hey, I want to see the Venom R. You will not be disappointed.
5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Come see the Venom R's today at Randall Ford.
Have you been looking for your next place to call home and just haven't found the right one? Then it's time to check out the properties at Trinity Multifamily. With a variety of apartments, duplexes, townhomes, and houses, there is surely one to fit your needs. Whether it's in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas, or Central Arkansas that you are looking at, they have you covered. Give them a call today. Trinity Multifamily, 479-452-1817. That's 479-452-1817. Or online at trinitymultifamily.com to search rental properties near you.
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria now has a new small crustless pizza for all of those on keto diets. It's a part of their lunch specials Monday through Saturday from 11 to 2 for only $10. You can get a small crustless pizza, side salad and drink, or a slice, chef salad and drink, or an 8-inch small pizza, side salad and drink, each for only $10. Call Papa's Pub at 479-783-9941. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
At Ashley Air, keeping your home comfortable is what we do best. We're confident you'll make the right decision when trusting us with your AC cooling needs. For only $69, one of our technicians will make sure your AC cools when it matters the most. Our technicians specialize in keeping AC systems operating at peak capacity 24/7. Call us today so you can enjoy peace of mind knowing you'll stay cool and comfortable all summer.
AshleyAir.com.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Baby, since you left me, there's somebody new. She thinks I'm perfect, I swear.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Halftime brought to you by America's Favorite Floats by Phil. There are a variety of sizes and colors, and these are premium balsa wood floats made by the thousands in Fort Smith, Arkansas at Pradco. These are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish, working great in tandem with crickets and redworms. That's America's Favorite Floats by Phil, available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, Learnet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. 877-377-6963. No guests with us in the second hour. It's just you and us. plus 3 up, 3 down. Got a couple other stories. And Arkansas men's basketball has released the non-conference schedule. Get into that in just a moment. Eddie, Eduardo, Ederino, what you got going on? What are you doing this week with the start of football season on Saturday, Eddie? How can you contain the excitement? You must have steam coming out of your ears.
That's exactly right, sir. As I woke this morning, I could hear the whistle blowing. And it's fixing to get cranked up Saturday at Razorback Stadium at 1 o'clock. And by the way, I agree with Mr. Connor. Listen to this, gentlemen. You talk about wins this year. Well, we got dudes on the defensive line. We got players on both sides of the ball. And as I was watching Coach Pittman first segment of the year on the Sam Pittman show last night with Chuck Barrett, what did he say? We're going to crank up that jukebox. And we're starting this Saturday. And we're going to start with Rice. And we're going to get the steam rolling. And we're going to roll in to the next Saturday night. And we're going to welcome the Longhorns of Texas to Fayetteville, Eddie of Clarksville style. So fan base, bring your woo pigs through it. And there's been fans that have jumped off the hump train. Well, I'm telling you, jump back aboard, fasten your seatbelt, and come along for the ride. Because
my feeling right now, Eddie, is that there's been another car put on the track for this football program. I don't feel like fans are jumping off for football. I feel like they want to jump on. They want to take in on the hog train. They would like to sit in probably a car that's not yours at that very moment, depending on how excited you are. Hey, Eddie, do you do score predictions? It's Monday. I'm not doing a score prediction for Saturday, but I do assume you might call later on in the week. But if not, what is a score that's acceptable for Arkansas versus Rice for you Saturday?
Well, I'd like to see us get started off, get the steam rolling on the hog train. I'd like to see us win by 28 points. I think that's a respectable win. And just to get our feet and get the tracks underneath the hog train rolling. And then work on some things. Always better the second game. And then we're going to unleash on the horns, on the nationally televised audience. We're going to crack that jukebox on you. So welcome, Coach Prestigious. By the way, gentlemen, I'll end it with this. You talk about Oklahoma. You talk about the Big 12. Listen, I was listening to College Game Day Saturday. And, depending on where you pose you want to look at, Oklahoma's number 3 in the country. I'm not saying they're not a good team. They're probably the best team in the Big 12, but their schedule was ranked 35th in the country. Well, come to the Big Boy League, gentlemen, because it starts Saturday in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and we're going to give you a taste of it. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you for listening to the show. That's the first time Eddie's made it to his famous end saying in a long time. It was a nice, cohesive, cogent phone call with a message that, of course, leads straight into Texas week, which still ends up being what everybody wants to.
They'll got to play Rice.
Focus on. I think Arkansas.
we can focus on whatever we want. We're not the team. We're not in the locker room. The players need to focus on Rice, but Phil, we can focus on whatever we want. If we want to focus on Missouri Thanksgiving weekend, we could do that. I don't think people want to hear a lot of Eli Drinkowitz and Missouri Tigers talk at this point in the year, but we can jump ahead of the schedule as far as we want.
I'm just looking ahead to Rice right now. I got to do my own game prep, just like everybody else does.
You're right. You have to, game by game, play by play, quarter by quarter.
That's
just
right.
for you.
But
I can do whatever I want. I can look at it.
You can't. We're not in the same room, and that might be a very good thing. So Ed says 28-point win is good enough for him. Right now it's 19.5 points. The line for Arkansas favored over Rice.
So I should smack the over.
Over under 51.5. I think you may end up going over that. We'll see. Shane says 45-17. And we're not doing the scores necessarily right now.
No,
because we
got
Monday,
all week.
And we got a basketball schedule, well, a part of a basketball schedule that was released by Arkansas about 40 minutes ago. So here you go, in order. Mercer, Gardner-Webb, Northern Iowa, Kansas State, Cincinnati or Illinois. Of course, Kansas State and then Cincinnati, Illinois, part of the Hall of Fame Classic in Kansas City, back-to-back days. Penn at home, UCA, Little Rock, Charlotte. You got the Oklahoma game in Tulsa, playing Hofstra in Little Rock at the arena with no teams, and then Elon, and then you start SEC play and have the Big 12 Challenge against West Virginia. So there you go. So, I mean, really, Kansas State, I don't know much about Kansas State right now. Cincinnati, Illinois, either one of those be a pretty good game. Penn usually.
Cincinnati's been on a downturn for the last year or so. It'd be interesting if they can right the ship, but that should be an easy W.
Ever since when Cronin left, things kind of
once he took off to UCLA, and it hasn't really been Bearcat basketball up there in Cincinnati like they're used to.
Penn usually pretty good. I don't think the Ivy League didn't play basketball last year.
They didn't play anything.
Yeah, they didn't play anything. Well, they're playing again. They're going to be playing basketball at the Bud on November the 28th.
What's
back-to-back games?
What's that arena in Philadelphia there where all three of them play? Penn.
The Palestra.
They still do that?
The Big Five, yeah.
I've always wanted to see. I wanted to see a game there. I feel like that'd be a cool atmosphere to see.
One of the real famous in-city tournaments. That and the Bean Pot up in Boston. Well, I think it's probably a little bit better for hockey than it is for basketball. Yeah. All right, we're getting into the second hour, and it's 3 up, 3 down, halftime. Monday. Don't go anywhere.
The Wave has arrived in the Coal Hill Zone, and that includes Altus, Coal Hill, Hunt, and other surrounding communities. Visit signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC to get signed up now. Blazing fast fiber services based in Ozark. Internet starting at $49.95, TV at $32.95, and phone service $29.95 a month. Order now for the Coal Hill Zone, Arkansas Valley Electric, and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
When you've escaped the screens and the sun bathes everything in a golden glow, and your friend hands you a cold organic beer that tastes as perfect as nature itself, that's pure gold. Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, the first national USDA certified organic beer. Organic by nature. Enjoy responsibly. 2020 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, St. Louis, Missouri.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection. 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Have you ever been to River City Bistro for a brunch on the weekends? Every Saturday and Sunday, River City is open at 10 a.m. with a special brunch menu. Eggs and omelets any way you like. Premium bacon, sausage and ham, waffles, eggs Benedict, and a great drink menu featuring mimosas, Bloody Marys, and all your brunch favorites. We will see you for brunch every Saturday and Sunday starting at 10 a.m. at River City Bistro, 7320 Rogers Avenue in the Stonewood Village Shopping Center.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will see a chance of showers and scattered thunderstorms are high this afternoon into the upper 80s. We'll dry things out from north to south tonight. And overnight low will drop down in the mid to upper 60s. And then Tuesday, sunny skies, upper 80s to lower 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson. Make sure to listen to The Morning Rush every weekday morning from 6 to 9 on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Good station.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3. Live Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
HitThatOne.com.
Go crazy at Bob Walker. Go nuts.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Your Razorbacks are 2021 SEC champions. And Baum Walker Stadium is an insane asylum.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on, it's almost halftime.
And into the second hour of halftime, just as head coach Sam Pittman is beginning his press conference on Zoom and in person. So whenever that press conference is complete, we'll have some talking points that we can go off of with him. Apparently, there has been a depth chart released. No coincidence. Right at the same time, Coach Pittman begins previewing Rice to the media. So we'll have a look at that depth chart as well. Be interesting to see if the depth chart changes very much as the season goes on, because I don't remember if it was last year, but we've seen some Arkansas depth charts that even has injured players on them that are out for the season. So, and then there are some teams that don't release depth charts. Isn't Michigan still doing that?
I think so.
I think Michigan is still not releasing the depth chart, so it's anybody's guess, right? Yeah, exactly. So, into this last hour of halftime, and plenty to get to. We gave you the new Arkansas men's basketball non-conference schedule, and we'll get you the stuff Sam Pittman says at the press conference. A crazy story involving, I don't know if you watched it, the high school football game on ESPN on Saturday. Apparently,
I didn't watch it, but I highly enjoyed the Aaron Torres story that you sent me yesterday.
Yeah, and it's all over the place now about this Bishop Sycamore Academy, which apparently isn't even a real standalone school, that doesn't even play in a league in the state that they say they're located in, and got their face rubbed in it by IMG Academy, and apparently sold themselves to ESPN as having a whole bunch of Division I recruits. Which,
did ESPN not do their own research?
I don't know what Division I they might be talking about, because it certainly doesn't look like NCAA Division I football.
Maybe they've got a lot of D1 offers in other sports. Maybe underwater basket weaving is in real high demand of Bishop players.
Yeah, exactly. It's really, it's a crazy story. Somebody's going to end up losing a job.
For sure. Somebody at ESPN is definitely losing a job for okaying this without having more research and having, like, if you're selling yourself as having all these D1 recruits, wouldn't you just go to your recruiting guy at ESPN that they have plenty of and just be like, hey, give me some breakdown, give me some game notes for these guys? And the guy would look at the sheet and go, I have no idea who these people are. I mean, it's like that scene in Major League when they release the team roster and everybody around the city goes, who the bleep are these guys? Like, it would have taken very little effort to verify it. And I know you want to get the name IMG Academy on your platform. Everybody knows who IMG is. I think even mostly for the basketball side, but IMG football is still good football, and you want to get that name brand on.
I mean, the entire thing. I mean, it's an athlete academy. It's an athlete's academy.
You got to do your research, and I think this looks worse on ESPN than it does on the actual school. On the school,
it's like this is the biggest troll job ever done to ESPN, at least in terms of football.
I'm guessing it started out as a joke, like, hey, let's just send an email, let's see what happens, and then they got a big old laugh when they got a response saying that they would consider it, and then like, let's actually see if we can pull this off.
Well, it's like we've all done this before. I did it before on college radio. The statute of limitations on making fake phone calls is over by now, I would think. It's been like 24, 25 years. But, it's that point where you make the fake phone call and you're like, well, all right, this person bought it. How far can you take this phone call? And can you get it recorded and put it over the air without being kicked out of school? It's a different situation, I think, for this. But, it's like I forget the name of the people that did it, but it was in Tennessee a couple of years ago. this kid sold himself
I
to
remember.
recruiting websites as being this huge prospect for college football. I mean, they did stories on him.
He had a signing day.
And he couldn't even, he could barely play the position. What was he, defensive lineman? I mean, he was a height as a high school player, but he wasn't anybody that he was promoting himself as.
And he had a signing day and had local TV there, and he committed to, I want to say he committed to either Tennessee or Alabama. And the next day, the stories came out that this guy is a fraud. Nobody at Tennessee or Alabama knows who he is. Nobody has offered him. Like, he had like 4 or 5 hats, like Oregon, Ohio State, Tennessee, Alabama, all up there in a row, and then made this huge commitment. People are cheering, hugs and cries, and it comes out, yeah, this is all fake. This dude is not talented. Nobody at these institutions have any idea who he is. He's just a guy who duped you, went to Lids, and bought some hats.
But it doesn't seem to me, I'm sure more of this story will come out about this Bishop Sycamore, that was down 44-0 at halftime against IMG Academy.
They improved in the
Canton.
second half. They only lost 56-0, right? That's a pretty big jump. That's some good halftime adjustments. That is what Maddie would say, a tale of two halves.
Well, what it seems to me is I don't know how much of a sales job they had to do. They just said, well, IMG is playing here, and we played them last year, and we've got a whole bunch of Division I recruits, and we're based out of Columbus. Mm-hmm. And somebody at ESPN thinks, well, Ohio, tons of great football players.
Yeah.
Columbus, a big city, is going to be really good football players. I'm going to take them at their word.
But you can't.
Unfortunately, we sometimes say that we like to take people at their words, and you really can't do that in this position. But all it takes, Drew, is simply typing maxpreps.com into your
It'd have
web
been
browser
very simple.
and searching for this school, and you'd be like, whoa, hold on a moment. We're not doing that game.
No.
And then ESPN doesn't become, and I know some people already feel about it this way, and I don't, but then ESPN does not become a national punching bag over this. Broadcasting high school football, you're going to have some ugly games sometimes. All it takes, though, it is such a well-covered aspect of sports in this country. Recruiting. All you have to do is type the school's name into Max Preps, and you find what you need to find.
It really is very simple. I mean, and I like watching some of the high school matchups. You see all the great schools in Miami. Back in the, I don't know how good of a program they are nowadays, but obviously everybody remembers how dominant Hoover was. You have South Panola down in Mississippi that would make on some of those ESPN games, and you get to see young guys going out there and playing, and hopefully people you're going to see not just on Saturday, but possibly on Sunday in the next 4 to 5 years. So these games have an importance. They have their spot on the calendar to go up against week 0 leading into college football, but you can't screw it up. And like you said, it takes 5 seconds to type into the computer. It takes less than that for an executive to call the recruiting guy. Just be like, hey, what do you know about these guys? If they've got this much talent, quote unquote talent on their team, he's got to at least faintly know who one person is. And for none of that to be true, it's a lot of egg on their face. ESPN does a lot of great things. They get a lot of things right. But unfortunately, it only takes for you to get one thing wrong for people to really come poo-poo on you.
It's hilarious. I mean, you look on Max Preps and Bishop Sycamore, it's right there.
Yeah.
In 2020, 0-6 last year, outscored 227-42.
And I think 21 of those points was in one game, right, if I'm remembering right.
Well, so let me ask another question. What is IMG Academy doing playing against competition of that level?
They need games. IMG's not in a league, I think, right?
They're not. This is one of the most prestigious, athletic
you go to IMG,
high schools in the
real
country.
Oh yeah,
and they're playing this.
COVID year, maybe, I don't know. Needed somebody. You had to get somebody on the schedule.
Some nice excuses you're helping make for them. I mean, they got a roster. I'm seeing a photo here of the TV guys. Did not get a roster. All they have here is just names of players, no numbers next to them, no sizes, nothing. Like this doesn't even really seem to be like a football program, Drew. It kind of feels like, the coach draws up plays on yellow pad paper and gathers everybody around in a circle in the dirt yard and they say, you know what? Let's go have some fun today, boys.
That's what it sounds like.
Football's fun.
And you don't and now, like, especially knowing about the rosters and everything after the game, like, when I first saw on Twitter about this stuff going on right after you sent me the story, I kind of did some other stuff and looked at it and saw the videos of the announcers kind of giving them a hard time. But if you're an announcer, if you're on that ESPN level and stage, that has got to be frustrating to get there and barely have a roster in front of you.
Well, and all
it is very hard to broadcast the game in the first place, and that's well prepared.
And I heard. They were sort of in a low-key way blasting the school. Mm-hmm. Really? And what are they going to do on the air?
Blast their bosses?
Own people?
Yeah, no.
Blast the kid or the person who's not going to be doing this as a job any longer on the air? But what do you do if you're an announcer at that point? I heard them talking about the fact, they're talking to the Presidential Library here in Canton is McKinley. I was like, this is football. There you go. 877-377-6963. We passed on 3 up, 3 down. We'll continue into that when we get a chance. We do have a depth chart. Sam Pittman is talking to the Razorback sports media right now. And doesn't look like John Ridgway is in there. He's going to be out on Saturday, as you would expect. Somebody that has an appendectomy, I don't think you go out and play football a week later. 2 weeks later, you might need Ridgway against Texas, but we'll find out. We'll see.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is growing and looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building experience or you have welding skills, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay, health, dental, and vision benefits. Join the top fence building team in the state. The Fence Man. Apply today in person. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
My name is Adam Gray. I have so far lost 32 patients to COVID-19, and I've consoled people who contracted the virus and gave it to a loved one who then died. And this is breaking my heart. A very large percentage of the people in Arkansas right now that are being hospitalized are under the age of 40 and almost exclusively unvaccinated. We need this to end.
Get your vaccination. Learn more at healthy.arkansas.gov. This message brought to you by the Arkansas Department of Health.
Nobody has more pre-owned trucks than Harry Robinson's Salasol Ford. Work trucks, heavy-duty four-wheel drive trucks, single cab, extended cab, and four-wheel drive crew cab trucks. Fords, Chevys, GMCs, Dodge, Ram, and Nissans. And with historic low interest rates, no payments for 90 days, and the most for your trade, Harry Robinson's Salasol Ford is the only place to buy your next truck. Harry Robinson's Salasol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salasol.
Wake up your happy at Hardee's with the new $3 French toast dips. Wait, what? French toast dip sprinkled with powdered sugar and served with a side of syrup. Sugary, syrupy, dippable. Sweeten up your morning at Hardee's. Try the new $3 French toast dips at Hardee's. The sweet one on the 2-3 more breakfast menu. Feed your happy. Available during regular breakfast hours at participating Hardee's restaurants. Tax not included. Price and participation may vary.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Farm Credit has been a trusted friend for over 100 years. They are ag financing experts. So whether you're a longtime farmer, new to farming, or buying your dream home or land in the country, their experienced staff has a plan to fit your goals, needs, and your bottom line. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com. Farm Credit is an equal opportunity lender.
Are you in need of roofing repairs or maybe more? Construction Master Roofing, who has been under new management since 2019 with over 25 years of experience, is who you need to call. Estimates are free, and military, first responders, and medical workers receive 5% off. Construction Master Roofing guarantees their work, and the number you need to call is 648-8888 in the River Valley, and in Oklahoma, call 918-859-4714. Construction Master Roofing, the roofing company that cares and gets the job done.
This is ESPN 95.3.
I do the same thing I told you that I never would.
Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Is this Alan Jackson?
No, this is from that TikTok dances, like the guy that has the drone and he's going around and he's doing this motion.
Oh, okay.
Can I say the TikTok voice, the robot voice, the lady voice?
Yeah.
They need some other voices. It's a little creepy.
It's creepy, and she mispronounces everything. Like, come on, computer. Well, I thought AI was so smart. Learn how to pronounce stuff. Speak like me.
Should have gotten the voice of Siri. She does such a nice job.
She does.
Alexa or whatever it is. I wasn't talking to you.
Don't say it.
I really didn't mean that.
Alexa, order more cat food.
Yeah, see, she's yelling at me now for actually saying her name without having anything to say. A little bit of a surprise when I look at the depth chart here, and it's not, the names that I'm seeing as far as linebacker is concerned. There is an or there. And I thought I heard the or is between Hayden Henry and Bumper Poole next to Grant Morgan. And I'm pretty sure I thought I heard Sam Pittman last week say that, you earn the start, there will be no or. You have an or right there. And Bumper, Hayden Henry might have surpassed him, but then again, there is an or. So I guess we'll find out who's starting next to Grant Morgan on Saturday. Dorian Gerald will start at the jack position. Trey Williams is your defensive end. I think Williams is, hopefully you get a real pass rush with Williams coming up with, an 8 to 9 to 10 sacks this year. That'd be great. Markel Utsi will start next to John Ridgeway. They do have Ridgeway on the depth chart, but we expect he's not playing Saturday. In fact, I think that's what Sam Pittman said to the media. No, he is starting on the defensive line Saturday. Look at that. That's interesting, and I don't understand how you can have the laparoscopic surgery and be able to come back and play football a week later. And medical technology is pretty amazing. I didn't realize it was that amazing.
I know on the memo that Arkansas sent out, it's got game one Rice in depth chart, but I feel like this is more of a going forward. I don't think that in less than a week from having surgery, I mean any type of surgery, you will be prepared to play in a college football game. Like that I know it's arthroscopic. I know it's the little robot going in, so the incision isn't bad, and there really shouldn't be any rehab from it. But that's a lot of soreness. I mean, and wouldn't you just much rather just keep him out, make sure his body's 110% for Texas? Well, and I know you got to take it 1 week at a time, but let's be honest. Let's save him for Texas.
All right, let's go through more of this depth chart here. I know there was a pretty good battle at left guard between Brady Latham and Luke Jones, and Latham will get the nod at left guard with Ricky Stromberg, of course, in the middle. Ty Clary over Bo Limmer for right guard. Dalton Wagner and Myron Cunningham, of course, are your tackles. So Tykeas Crawford, the transfer out of Charlotte, will back up Wagner at right tackle. Of course, you're going to get your backups into these games at some point. Davion Warren is the number 2 starting receiver on the other side from Traylon Burks, Keytron Jackson, and Jaquaylin Crawford. Tyson Morris will start, and Trey Knox coming off the bench. Blake Kern, your starting tight end. Traylon Smith, of course. Rocket Sanders, 1 and 2 running backs. And then K.J. Jefferson and Malik Hornsby are your quarterbacks. There you go. And in the back, in the secondary, defensively, we went through the front 4. We went through the linebackers. Ladarius Bishop with Hudson Clark backing him up. Jalen Catalon, of course, next to Joe Fouché. Malik Chavis, Simeon Blair will back up at safety. Monteric Brown, Busta Brown at cornerback. Nickelback will be Greg Brooks Jr., and I believe Brooks is also going to be returning punts this year. So there you go. Got your first depth chart officially. And Nate texting in, no laparoscopic procedures are minimally invasive. It's just the idea of a week later playing football. Like that's it's just difficult for me to digest that, and hopefully he's able to get out there and play and be just fine. I'm sure they wouldn't play him unless he's going to be just fine, and I would trust the doctors, whatever it is they say.
This is going to make me sound stupid because y'all just said laparoscopic.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference between arthroscopic and laparoscopic? I mean,
I can't explain it. I just know it's a very small.
Like I didn't misuse that term, right? Like when I said arthroscopic, it was not misused. Like I was still right?
I'm sorry? Is there a doctor in the house?
Yeah.
No, there's not. But as far as I know,
can someone tell me the difference, or
means
do they mean the same thing?
877-377-6963.
When I was a kid, I got my tonsils out. Week later, I was playing T-ball again.
Wow, you just built different, though, Matty T.
Right.
You didn't need to sit inside and eat them popsicles and ice cream.
And afterwards, they brought me some ice cream. I said, I don't need it.
You don't need it.
I slapped it out of the nurse's
built
hand.
Different.
And there's a ton of information coming out today involving SEC sports. Looks like all of the non-con schedules are coming out, or at least a good chunk of them for basketball. Here's one that may be interesting. Kentucky hosting High Point December 31st. Maybe the matchup isn't the more exciting thing. It's the coach that's coming
Tubby time, baby.
Back to Rupp Arena. This must be his first visit since the firing. Is it? It must be. Tubby Smith is the head coach at High Point.
Unless he played Kentucky when he was at Minnesota or Texas Tech, because I know when he was the head coach of the University of East-West Memphis, he did not play Kentucky.
Well, that'll be an interesting one for sure. Arkansas's I call it preseason, right? But of course it's not. It's non-conference.
It's non-conference games.
Yeah,
they very much so do count. Score will be taken, and it will be in the record book. There's no pre or exposition game about it.
Jonathan texted in. Now, Jonathan will read this text without knowing your credentials. If you want to forward in a resume, so we know exactly what your area of expertise is here. But the words he's using seem to mean he might know. He says arthroscopy is the use of small incisions, camera, and thin instruments to treat joints such as the shoulder, hip, knee, ankle, elbow, wrist. All right, so arthroscopy.
So when I had shoulder surgery,
goes into joints.
Yeah, so when I had shoulder surgery right there, you can see my labrum.
Showing me and our listeners on YouTube and whatnot.
My 2 labrum scars in the front, and then there's 2 others. So that was arthroscopic.
Yeah.
But if it was like into my side, and it was like a, what are those things called? Organs, that's laparoscopic.
There you go.
Okay. Well, I learned something new today, and the more you know.
It uses one of my favorite terms, body cavity. Laparoscopy is the use of similar equipment and techniques, but within the body cavity, not a joint in the body. Oh, so his credentials are University of Google. Well done. I guess we could have done the same thing.
We could have.
Google, okay.
That very moment. I guess
that's
called,
how you learn for that.
I guess that's called, quote, doing your research, right?
I guess so. Well, why should we do our own research when we have such fine listeners that are willing to do it for us?
Appreciate the research, Dr. Jonathan from Percy from the University of Google, and John in Fayetteville says Dr. Google too. So, I mean, we could have done the same thing, but then again, we would just bring this up on the air while we're talking.
The only
I Google plenty of other things involving sports. I just at that moment I wasn't thinking to Google.
I wasn't either.
Arthroscopy versus laparoscopy.
What's that surgery where they go in through your belly button and then like pull out like a piece of raw chicken?
Huh?
That's the only surgery I believe in.
I'm guessing that's from a movie that I have not seen.
That one I was unaware of. That's one of those things where you hit the brake right after, because I don't know how to come back after that one.
Is that from a movie I haven't seen?
I believe the.
Did I have to live in the 80s to know about this?
I believe the Andy Kaufman movie, when he was seeking out some doctors and stuff. He went to a foreign country and, these fake doctors that they act like they're putting your hand, and then all of a sudden they put like a big piece of chicken in, and they think that that's the disease.
Hey, if we say we're doing research on football games by going to Google, then I guess, you can do your medical research on Google too. I'm not a doctor of sports. None of us is.
I'm not going to let you cut me up, but I'll take your word for it.
Google's never lied to me.
Yeah, and they're keeping your records for safekeeping, and you got to trust them for that too, Maddie, for the information and your personal privacy. 877-377-6963. Right back with more Halftime. Halftime is brought to you by Crabtree RV Center. 4 generations making your family dreams come true.
Are you looking for someone to cater your tailgate party, office party, any party? Have you heard of them Rub It Snout guys? They are best known for their all-grub dry rubs and fresh pork rinds, but they also offer catering. They offer a variety of smoked or grilled meat options, along with jambalaya paired with side options of your choice. Go to rubitsnout.com to place your order and view all of the catering options available. Rub It Snout offers local catering in the Northwest Arkansas area.
When it comes to baling, the denser, the better. Williams Tractor in Fayetteville, Berryville, and Bobcat in Northwest Arkansas can show you how roll belt round balers produce denser and higher quality round bales that drive down your production costs while driving up the nutrition of your bales. A competitive comparison showed New Holland roll belt round balers provide savings in net wrap, transportation, and lower storage losses. It's like being able to afford a new baler every other year. Stop by Williams Tractor in Fayetteville, Berryville, and Bobcat in Northwest Arkansas soon to learn firsthand about the benefits of roll belt round balers.
Hi, folks. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources. Has the summer heat got you down? Got the back-to-school blues? Well, keep your cool, because I've got a deal to turn that rising mercury into sizzling savings for you. Just choose from a red-hot selection of Rath road-ready vehicles, each one hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center, and take advantage of discounts up to $5,300 below retail. That discount can go a long ways towards helping you get the nicer, newer car, truck, or SUV you've been wanting at a price and payment you can afford. If you're not ready to trade, let us take care of the car you have in our Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. Better yet, click, call, or come by today and start driving better in a Rath road-ready vehicle and take advantage of discounts up to $5,300 below retail. But don't wait. A smoking deal like this can't last forever and absolutely ends August 31st. Only at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Requires bank approval. Negative equity may be refinanced.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunities, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
When fun finally returns, Bud Light legends don't just come back. They come roaring back, carrying a cooler full of Bud Lights, an inflatable dolphin, and those Velcro pads with the balls that stick to them. And this summer, with a cooler at their side, they're gonna make up for all the fun we've missed. Welcome back, Bud Light legends. It's time to take summer by the coolers. Cooler up at BudLightLegends.com. Enjoy responsibly. 2021 AP Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work, real work, working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Make your car buying experience better at Hertz Car Sales. The goal is to provide customers with a wide selection of low-mileage, extra-clean vehicles, providing their buyers with a better way to drive. A professional sales staff, quality customer service, along with a relaxing atmosphere is what you find every time at Hertz Car Sales. What are you waiting for? Make the short drive to 2810 Midland Boulevard or call them today at 783-1722. You can also check them out online at buyfromhertz.com. Hertz Car Sales, when you're ready.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
All right, getting in here. We've been promising you this for the last few minutes or so. So we usually do it at the start of the second hour on a Monday. Let's do it now instead. 3 up, 3 down.
It's like a calling card or a shout out or something.
That sucked.
The best of the best of the best of the best of the best.
What does 3 up and 3 down mean to you, Airman?
End of an inning.
Well, that's not the worst part. What is the worst part?
It's time for 3 up, 3 down.
And today's 3 up, 3 down brought to you by Crabtree RV Center in Alma. A big up for Crabtree. They've been serving the River Valley in Northwest Arkansas for over 70 years on 17 acres with a 26,000 square foot showroom floor right there at the junction of I-40 and I-49 beside the Cracker Barrel in Alma. Crabtree RV Center gives every family the best experience. Help you choose the right RV for your adventures, the service and parts department, everything else needed in between. And Crabtree RV makes your family's dreams come true for over 70 years and 4 generations. You can look at their inventory at crabtreerv.com. All right, and first up for me today, let's see if I scroll up here. Nick freaking Starkel, admittedly, against an FCS opponent, Southern Utah. We'll see what he does against USC.
He looked good
this weekend, but in year 6, Nick Starkel, 394 yards passing against Southern Utah.
Pretty good day at the office.
Almost 15 yards per attempt, not completion, per attempt. 4 touchdowns, ran for one of his own, had at least 15 yards on 10 completions, and completions of 43, 47, 65, and 70 yards. You know he's got the arm.
Yeah.
He always has had the arm. Had a great season last year, and continue to read more profiles about him in The Athletic and other media organizations. It's tough not to root for Nick Starkel, as he has had a great game, but again, we'll see what happens against USC. All right, my first down. I got into it first hour. Week 0 sucked. Nebraska, Illinois was unwatchable. The other games all had margins of at least 27 points or more. So you can give it a half. I'm
giving it a half. I'm calling it half week because they got the job done. Now, was I sitting in college football bliss? No. But the craving was tampered down. I'm now really, really excited. I'm still really, really excited for week 1. But it calmed down the itch. I got my college football. I had my game day in the morning. I had the legitimate chance to, from 12:20 when Nebraska, Illinois kicked off till the time I went to bed, to watch college football. And that's all I need. And that's all I really want on a Saturday. So I'll take it. Any way you give it to me, I will take it. My first up, though, I'm giving it up, and I know I said I would have worn the jersey. I'll wear it tomorrow. The Baltimore Ravens have now hold the record for the longest preseason winning streak, passing the Green Bay Packers, now record up to 20 consecutive preseason games, which leads me into my down. Down to Ravens starting running back J.K. Dobbins, out for the season with a torn ACL, which is definitely not good. Still have Gus Edwards, who is a good back, a productive back, but he's not making up that productivity that JK was giving you. He's not making up the productivity that you've gotten from Mark Ingram's in the years past. It's going to be really interesting at how this running game is going to develop, because I already think Lamar does use his legs a little too much, and it's not the fact that I don't trust Lamar's arm. I think Lamar can throw with the best of them. I truly believe that he's got a good arm and is a great NFL quarterback. The only problem is I don't believe in anybody he's throwing the ball to. I mean, outside of Mark Andrews and the other tight end's name who's escaping my mind at this moment, you really don't have a sure thing. They tell me this Hollywood Brown's supposed to be the real deal. How great he was at Oklahoma. Yeah, he was good at Oklahoma, but they told me he's going to be the best wide receiver the Ravens have had in the last 5-6 years, and he doesn't do anything. So without a guy like J.K. Dobbins who can not only run the ball, he can catch the ball out of the backfield, this is a big, big blow for the Ravens. And I'm actually a little bit worried that your Steelers could catch us.
Go ahead, say it.
I'm a little worried your Steelers are catching ground.
I'll never root for somebody to be injured. You can't ever celebrate anything like that. With that said,
if it happened to somebody, you're glad it happened to me.
I'm not glad it happened to J.K. Dobbins. I'm not glad at all. I mean, the young man has got a great future, and an ACL injury, although you can come back from it, you really as a running back sometimes never quite the same.
It's a lot. You
feel
cutting
awful
it ain't working.
But I don't feel awful for the Baltimore Ravens, and I don't feel awful for you.
That's fair. If
I'm going to revel in your misery, not J.K. Dobbins.
If the roles were reversed, I would do the exact same thing. So I expect nothing less.
Yeah, we'll just see what happens when the Steelers have a huge injury, and you can, pop balloons and pop bottles over there in the Barling Studios. Second up, new house feels homey. New houses are always nice. I do like it. It's nice doing a show in the bedroom, which is doubling as a studio. The cat seems to like it as well. Neighbors seem nice. It's closer to campus. New house. Happy with it.
Looks good.
What the down? Moving sucks. Ouch. Neck, head, back, shoulders. Do we have any licensed massage therapists that are listening to the show right now and would be willing to trade your services for advertising? Hello, Tommy Kraft. Am I allowed to do that? Yeah, we'll see about that. Can. But moving sucks. That's way down.
Yeah, that is a big down. And do you keep all of your moving boxes? I actually do keep it because I'm so used to moving every year that it's always a pain when you have to go buy boxes. Like, I still have most of my moving boxes still stacked up in my living room.
Yeah, at this rate, at my rate of moving, Drew, I'm probably not going to be here for any longer than like 7 months. If you're just going on average, right?
Yeah.
So these boxes, I might want to keep them constructed. I don't even need to break them down.
Mine's aren't. They're not broken down. I mean, it's about a 5.5 foot pile in my living room. But then again, I don't have any visitors other than when the missus comes and sees me, and it's just me. I can walk around it. I don't mind it. Boxes are boxes. It just gives the room a whole different feel. But my second.
By the way, everybody that's texting in, you can save your Deshaun Watson jokes. Thank you.
Yes. My second up, I'm giving it up to Trent Dilfer. Now, you probably, if you've heard the news and you've seen the video, you'd be like, that's a down 100%. He shouldn't have put his hands on the kid, and he really shouldn't have. I told Maddie and Phil some stories from back in the day where we had coaches not too long ago. I mean, I only graduated high school in 2013. So this wasn't, back in the Grand Junction Boy days and Bear Bryant at A&M type of stories. This wasn't back in the 80s when this thing was fully rampant. But I told y'all some stories where I had coaches do that plenty of times, and nobody thought anything of it. Now, he shouldn't have done it, but the reason why I'm giving him up is because he accepts his consequences for his actions. He has come out, he has publicly apologized, and he wanted to tell everybody that is calling his player. Here, let me get his name correct here for a second. I think it's Bo. Oh, come on, computers. Okay, my computer. My computer decided it's not gonna load right.
Just call him Bo.
Bo. He talked about Bo and tell him how he's the ideal high school student athlete. He has all the characteristics that you want in a young man. So I'm giving him an up for accepting his responsibility and knowing that he's gone too far, and for basically saying it won't happen again. Now, if it happens again, he's getting a big old down. But I believe in second chances. I'm going to give Trent Dilfer the benefit of the doubt. My down, though, does go to Scott Frost. He got outcoached by Brett Bielema. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He was outcoached. And having a team that was head and shoulders better than Illinois and not being mentally prepared to play the game, that's unexcusable. Huge down for Scott Frost. He's done in Nebraska.
All right, I got a third up here, and it was the Mississippi River briefly flowing upstream thanks to Hurricane Ida. Like, absolutely nuts. When I read this, I forget who it was that tweeted it. Like, at New Orleans, the Mississippi River is over 1.5 miles wide and 200 feet deep.
Mm-hmm.
And that stuff went in reverse.
Went north.
Absolutely amazing. The only other times that this has happened, Hurricane Katrina and the New Madrid Fault rupturing into a massive earthquake into the 1800s. I think that's when that lake in Tennessee was formed that you talked about earlier.
Maddie gave me the answer. It's Reelfoot Lake.
And that was thanks to Ray and Harrison.
Oh, thank you, Ray and Harrison, for giving me the answer. I should have known that. I've been up there plenty of times. Went duck hunting there last season, so I should have known that. But
third down, Dallas Keuchel been getting knocked around of late. Did you see Friday against the Cubs?
Not pretty.
1 inning pitched, gave up 6 runs and 7 hits. And the former Razorback and former Cy Young Award winner has a 7.43 earned run average in the month of August. July, his ERA was in the 6s. He's even quoted over the weekend as saying that if he doesn't step up, he might not make the postseason roster. And when you look at the rest of the White Sox rotation, it's shocking to think that Dallas Keuchel is the weak link of this rotation. Carlos Rodon, Dylan Cease, Lance Lynn, Lucas Giolito. That might be the best starting rotation in the American League. I think Keuchel's right. He might be pitching for his postseason spot on the roster. It's amazing to think that, and I hate saying it, but Dallas Keuchel is down.
It is amazing to think that, but he's just got to get it turned around. I'm sure he's working on it, and he will. Going to give an up to the weekend that was. Got to go fishing, fly fishing with my father yesterday, and I'm going to go play some golf with him after the show. So big ups to big old dad for coming over to the NWA and fishing. I'm going to give it down, though, to my fishing skills, though, Phil. We fished for like 6+ hours. I didn't catch a single one.
It's just because you frighten the fish. You're just a really scary-looking person.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
When someone's looking up at you through water. That's got to be the only reason.
It's got to be. Then again, I am still relatively new to fly fishing. I've only been doing it for a couple of years.
Oh, you fly fish?
Yes. This was 6+ hours of fly fishing. I wasn't just out there with a rod and reel, Phil. I mean, I would have raked them in all day. We fly fish for 6.5 hours. So I'm still relatively new. I've only been doing it for a few years. So I will get better, but just not on par yet.
You able to whip that thing, get that whip thing going like that. I've only done it once. I could see falling in love with that.
It's
as
so
an
much
activity,
fun.
And I understand why Clay Henry lives where he
Yes,
lives.
and I'll have to thank Clay publicly on the show when he's here. But he actually tied me some flies that I'm going to give to my dad today, and I'm going to keep half of them. So I appreciate you, Mr. Henry.
Very good. All right, well, let's step aside our last break here on halftime, and we'll wrap things up in just a moment, including from Sam Pittman here. He says it does not look good for John Ridgway to play Saturday. So he's on the depth chart as a starting defensive tackle, but right now it doesn't look good for him to play Saturday. And Sam Pittman also says the depth charts that's released today is not the final depth chart for Saturday against Rice. That will be decided by Wednesday, but that won't be released, of course. They always release them on Monday, and you kind of figure things out as the week continues. All right, so we'll go through a little more of that. If you got anything for us, you got one chance left, 877-377-6963. And yes, we're still waiting for that trade request from the LMTs. Right back.
Attention, attention. Do you have a fifth wheel, travel trailer, or motorhome that you don't get to use as often as you want? Well, Breeden RV has a solution. Breeden RV wants to buy your RV. Due to the historic events that have happened over the past year, RVs are in high demand, and Breeden RV will pay you top dollar for yours. So push it, pull it, or drag it to Breeden RV in Van Buren today for your free appraisal and get cash in hand within an hour. Call Breeden RV at 479-262-2418 or visit them on the web at BreedenRVs.com.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco. for hard work and the great outdoors.
It's midsummer, and now is the perfect time for hiking, fishing, shooting, canoeing, kayaking, and enjoying the great outdoors. And Jelco Outdoors has all the great gear to help you make great memories this summer. Shop local. Shop Jelco Outdoors, your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Have a safe summer from Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Did you invest in real estate only to find out that real estate takes up too much of your time? If you answered yes, then it's time to make a call to the experts. With more than 30 years of combined property management experience and more than 16,000 units managed, Trinity Multifamily are the ones to call. Get your life back. Call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
Do you want to work for a trucking company with state-of-the-art technology? A trucking company that will give you the tools to do your job and make a great living and come home safe? Of course you do. That company you want to work for is Brent Higgins Trucking in Mulberry. Brent and Connie Higgins genuinely care about your future and your family. Brent Higgins Trucking, where you're a name, not a number. Call them today at 479-997-2366 or apply online at BrentHigginsTrucking.com.
Congratulations, you're having a little girl.
At that moment, everything changed. Our hopes and dreams for ourselves were instantly replaced by our hopes and dreams for her. We got life insurance policies from Shelter Insurance, so that regardless of what life throws at us, we'll still be able to provide the world to her.
Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Ask Shelter agents Brandon Zimmerman or Chris Dooley about a free insurance review.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
In the mood for a top shelf night? 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge has your number. Sit back, relax, and enjoy select wines, top shelf spirits, and handcrafted cocktails in a rich, comfortable, sanitized setting with state-of-the-art air filtration. Indulge in one of our delicious appetizers, sandwiches, salads, or specialty items for carry-out or dine-in. Open Tuesday through Saturday. Stop by 906 Garrison Avenue in Fort Smith. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey! Don't rock the jukebox. I wanna hear some Jones. 'Cause my heart ain't ready for the Rolling Stones.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at PhilElsonPXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Halftime, as always, brought to you by The Fence Man. It's the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The whole process is easy, quick, most importantly, affordable. 18 months, same as cash financing, is available at The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gates, or anything else that involves a fence, The Fence Man does it. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work. Some notes here from Sam Pittman's press conference. It does not look good for defensive tackle John Ridgway to play against Rice after his appendectomy that the Democrat Gazette reported on over the weekend. Likes that you can host recruits at football games. Yeah, got a chance to do that after not at all last year. They've cut up every run and every pass from Luke McCaffrey during his 1 year at Nebraska. I do expect you're going to see a lot of Luke McCaffrey, even though Rice is not announcing their starting quarterback and do have a kid coming back from the previous couple of years. The way that that the Rice head coach talks about McCaffrey, it just really does seem that they're going to go with him more than not. Traylon Burks has progressed since the weekend, still day to day. And Coach Pittman gives you a non-answer about if he's ready, because he says if he's ready, he'll play. If he's not, he's not. He doesn't know whether or not that's going to happen yet. We still don't know what Burks' injury is. And that's it. So there you go. And I'm sure we'll have a lot of sound coming on the Morning Rush and on Halftime tomorrow from Sam Pittman's first game week press conference. 877-377-6963. All right, so you know what I don't like about Drew Barrett?
That he's not here right now?
Oh, that's right. I forgot. He's not there with us right now. I had forgotten that he reminded us on Friday, and I guess he said something about it a few minutes ago, Maddie, but I don't think I heard him, that he was jetting out on the show today, full pay for 3/4 of a show. Boy, if we could all just manage a life like that.
He didn't want to miss his tea time.
So now's the time to get in all of the insults. No, we jest.
At least we know for the next 5 minutes we won't have to hear about that certain city he's from.
That's right, that whole East-West thing. That's exactly right. Good thing that he won't have to get fined for these next 6 minutes or so. And we didn't even get into this. You saw where, like, Javi Baez, I know Greeny was talking about it before we got into the show today. Like, does Baez realize the city he's playing in now? This is not Chicago. This is not the nice Midwest. This is not the friendly portion of the country for bad teams, which right now the Mets are and have been so since the trading deadline, in which Baez was thought of as one of the biggest gets of the trade deadline. But now it's like it's Javi Baez versus the New York fans. He says that fans should be better. He says he plays for the fans. I love the fans, but they're just putting more pressure on the team. It's not what he wants. We lose together. We win together. That's not how it's done in New York. That's not how it's done in Philadelphia. That's not how it's done in Boston, anywhere on the East Coast. They are not with you, Javi. That's not the way that they view it. And look, he's not going to last. He's not going to last in New York City. This is going to be the beginning of the end for Javi Baez in New York City. When this season's over, and I don't remember what his contract situation is, he's gone. He's gone. And if I'm the Mets, you kind of know now, if there's anybody out there in the offseason that's looking to get him, maybe a little bit of a discount, because he can't stay there any longer. When it's you versus the New York fans, unless you deliver a championship of some sort, the player loses. That's just how it is in that city. And any player in professional sports that tells fans outwardly, you can't boo us, you shouldn't be booing us. And then it's like all anybody has to do is say scoreboard and look at the batting average or an on-base percentage or look through, their recent stretch of games, and that somebody is not necessarily earning their keep. Booing is a completely natural and, I think, okay thing to do in professional sports. If somebody, if somebody's stinking the joint out in a place like New York City, they're going to tell you that. Heck, they'll even do that in a theater, They'll do that in movies. Like, this is not Chicago, Javi. This is not the friendly confines where everybody's all happy to be there. And, look, I understand things are a little bit different with Cub fans since they actually won a world championship. Maybe there's now expectations instead of just expecting to get your heart broken every year and just liking being in the ballpark and all of that. Javi, you don't belong in New York City. Sorry. It's time to move on. And I think he's already in the process of moving on. He is I don't know where a guy like that plays, but it's not going to be Chicago any longer, and it certainly isn't going to be New York either. But and Drew was going to get into the idea that he doesn't boo. Look, that's fine. It's up to a person whether or not they want to boo or not. So he doesn't boo, so fine. The person next to you very well might. And if that person paid their money to get in, and again, I'm talking in terms of professional sports. And I think when you boo at a collegiate event, it's a different thing. And a lot of times, and I learned this the hard way last year, you're usually booing at the officials or your own head coach, which in some cases, under Chad Morris, that certainly happened a heck of a lot. But you don't boo the players, I think, in college sports for the reasons that you would boo professional sports. It's not their job, So, and so I would like to sit next. No, look, I don't boo. I haven't booed at a sporting event in a long time. It's because I'm in the radio booth, and you can't do that. As a fan, as a Pittsburgh Pirates fan, don't you feel like I'm booing every time I do a "How bad are the Pirates today?" Yeah, that's kind of the same thing. And I don't know if Javi Baez and I would be able to get along in that case. Maddie, do you ever boo at a sporting event, or have you booed a movie that you just hated so much?
The last time I ever booed at an event, so I was kind of I was used to like going to things as a kid, like wrestling matches and stuff, and went to it was like a mixed martial arts match, and as a guy was walking by to go fight, I booed, and he looked at me, and I realized, oh wait, this is not the WWE. This is a guy that could really punch me in the face right now, and that was the last time I ever booed at anybody. And I take that to any kind of sporting event or anything. I know these are real people, and you push them too far, they could snap on you if they wanted to.
I booed someone last week in the parking lot at a Walmart because she left her shopping cart there in the parking space.
Now, you hung your head out the window and you go, boo! Or you just kind of were...
No, I returned the cart for her and then shouted, I think I just did your work for you. That's kind of like booing.
That'll teach her a lesson.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. All right, for Maddie, for Drew, I'm Phil, and back with you tomorrow. It's halftime on a Monday. Now get up, get out, and get better.
Wherever work takes you, we've got you. The BF Goodrich Trademan Support Program. Get a $70 rewards card after online submission with the purchase of 4 new BF Goodrich passenger or light truck tires. You also get a $60 satisfaction guarantee and 24-hour worksite or roadside assistance. Southern Tire Mart just off of I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith. BF Goodrich Tires and best-in-class service. See bfgoodrichtires.com/tradesman for complete details. Offer expires 12/31/2021. Void where prohibited.